Wow. It's not very often I get to say that about a horror film. Hello everyone and welcome to SHOCKMANIA. I am the Artie Dans and this is something a bit unique, talking about a non-Asian horror film. I don't anticipate that this will get many views, but I don't care because I would love to talk about this latest American horror film called Dolly. So first, let's check out what it's about. Chase and Macy are hiking in the woods and stumble across a strange scene. Dozens of plastic dolls hanging from the trees. Just as Chase is about to propose, he hears a noise and investigates it, coming face to face with Dolly, a massive person with a porcelain mask who brutally disfigures him. As Macy sets off to search for Chase, she's abducted by Dolly, who keeps her captive in the house, dressing her up and treating her like a child. But Macy wants out. She's already been a baby before, but with the psychotic, monstrous Dolly the only thing in her way to freedom, can she defeat her and break free? Now, I know that this film is going to be divisive. It definitely has elements that some people will enjoy and has elements that others certainly will dislike. But one thing about this film is definitely certain. The filmmakers have aimed for a particular style and I think they've absolutely nailed it. Now, when it comes to modern horror films, I have to admit I did like In a Violent Nature. Now I know a lot of people didn't like it and I agree. It did have a very weak final scene in the film, but the rest of the movie, I felt at least, was pretty cool. Now this movie reminds me a bit of that film and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, kind of if they were mashed together. Now the reason for that is the presentation. For the better part of a decade or two, almost every film in every genre has been recorded on digital cameras. Every movie has this clean look, perfect colors, perfect lighting. It's all the same. But not with this film, because this one is recorded on 16mm. It's proper film stock developed in a darkroom, and it looks it too. It has that grainy feel to it with the distinctive color palette associated with films that use the same stock as well. Color is slightly muted, and if it wasn't for the use of a mobile phone at the start of the film, or that's cell phones for you Americans, then you would honestly think that this movie is from the 70s and the 80s. The cars, the fashion, the interior decorating of the house, it's all pretty authentic. Adding to that feeling is Dolly, the monster of the movie who very much reminded me of Leatherface, although far more menacing. Dolly never talks other than the occasional hum, so she doesn't talk at all. My only real issue with her is that she lumbers around too quickly, getting from place to place without making any sound, and that would make Jason Voorhees very proud of her. Now, on top of the dread that the movie instills in you with having Macy trapped in this house with Dolly and that mysterious third person that's locked in another room, there's the movie's liberal use of gore. I mean, this is a body horror film after all. We get to see a detached jaw in all its gory glory, as well as a scene of Macy biting off Dolly's nipple. Because we all knew that was going to happen the moment Dolly flopped out her massive mammary, and no, I'm not going to show you any footage from that scene. So far, the movie's nailed the look and feel of 70s horror, as well as featuring a rather menacing monster and good scenes of blood and gore. But like all horror movies, it does too many things to break you out of that believability moment. For starters, considering how Macy ends up escaping the house at the end of the film, why doesn't she smash the glass of the locked door that is her only way to freedom? Isn't that the most obvious thing anyone would do if they were trapped in a house like that? I'm not looking for a door that I can simply just walk out of. I'm looking for any way out of that house. I also wasn't really a fan of the way the movie tried to present itself as a series of chapters. While I understand the director was using it as a way to help the audience to focus on a specific element for 10 or so minutes, it never had that effect on me. Now this could be a side effect of the fact that this movie is based on a short film, but that was a really short film. That was only 4 minutes, so I'm not really sure how the chapter thing ends up, and I think that the movie would have been better off without the chapters. Something I did like seeing was American Pie's Stifler in the movie. Now, for those of you under 30, and there's probably not too many of you watching this, American Pie was a 1998 American teen comedy film that featured a lot of very naughty scenes that would in no way get made today. Movies just do not contain those scenes anymore, and that's because, I don't know, modern teenagers are all a bit weird and don't like this stuff. But anyway, there was a character in that movie who was the oversexed Stifler, whose mum was the inspiration behind the phrase MILF. Seann William Scott is his name, and it's great to see him in a movie like this. He's fantastic, as is Max Lindsey, the wrestler who plays Dolly. Now, other than Ethan Suplee, and I'm not really sure if that's the way you say his name, the rest of the cast is very ho-hum, including our final girl, whose performance didn't quite gel with me. It is clear that this is a franchise in the making. The allusion to a sequel is thick and fast all over the ending, so if you find yourself cheering on the character of Dolly and want to see her and her wacky family in more films, I don't think you're going to have to wait too long. As for me, I spent large parts of the movie absolutely loving it and then absolutely hating it, which is reflected in my rating at the end. But before I leave this review, I have a shower thought, and it's always the same shower thought that comes to me when I watch horror movies like this. And you're going to laugh at me, you're going to think I'm really silly, but it is, how the hell does Dolly get the money to do anything? I don't know, you're laughing right now, but think about it for a second. She lives in this house, okay, it's the middle of nowhere. The house has water and electricity, so clearly someone has to pay for the bills. We don't see Dolly working. Perhaps she's doing OnlyFans, I don't know. But you don't actually get to see her working. But there's food in the house. She cooks Macy, or prepares for Macy, baby food, which Macy spits out. There's also milk in the fridge that she gags on. That we can assume that that's all sour and not obviously edible. But still, I know it's a stupid thought, but I just can't imagine in between her killing sprees, Dolly taking off the mask, donning on an apron, dusting the house up while cooking a roast chicken, and then going down to the store to pick up supplies using an ATM card. Like an ATM card? A debit card. I just can't get it. I don't know. It's really stupid, and I don't know why I'm thinking of it. So, using my patent pending ghost rating, which stands for Great Horror or Stupid Trash, 3 ghosts is what I will give this film, because I think it's slightly above average, but not completely above average. It is a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun, this movie, but then there's also bits that are just kind of, they felt like they go on for too long, even though this is only a short movie. Now, I will have to admit, this seems to be a problem with me getting old a bit. I'm spending large parts of the movie doing this and just kind of blocking out scenes that I don't want to see, specifically the jaw. I don't know why. I just am acting like this. Am I getting too old to enjoy horror films? This doesn't make sense. Anyway, I am the Artie Dans, and you are watching Shockmania. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like, subscribe, all that other jazz. Tell me what you thought of Dolly if you've seen it. I believe that's the first time I've said throughout the whole video. Quite impressed with myself and disappointed that I ended up saying Damn it. Anyway, like, subscribe, all that other jazz. Join the Discord. There's a link down below, and at the end of the film, there'll be there'll be a Discord link pop up. I'll catch you next time.